we love him, we see so many beautiful things. And maybe you are finding this information and you don't even know what that is all about, and you're probably thinking, well, I'm just going to switch the channel. That's okay, don't worry about it. But today I want to talk about this specific topic that so many people, have a misconception. I do think that is worth coming on and just really laying my heart. I was a former pastor. I used to be doing missions. And one of the things that I learned from ministry is that there are a lot of misconceptions when it comes down to businesses, when it comes down what our dear Lord showed us how to do. And when I was younger, I believed that I should leave faith and money very separate from different rooms. But I want to tell you one thing. I do not believe that Jesus was against people creating wealth. I don't believe that. I also don't believe that we should also, just as preachers or ministers or believers, only think that if we follow Jesus, we're going to be, set up for life. That's not how it is. I started reading, some parables when, I was younger, when I started, when Jesus found me actually. And there is the parable of the talents that I was trying to kind of like just grab a hold of it, and I was on my, I was actually 20 years old when I came to know Jesus. And God is not a God that wants us to just suffer and just be miserable and things like that. And also, I don't think that we as believers, those of us who believe in Jesus, believe that he just wants us to just be stinking rich. I think there has to be a balance, because it does not matter, if you are rich or poor, for the Lord to love you. It doesn't matter if you have a huge bank account. That doesn't equal to a blessing. I just want to be very honest and transparent. I love doing business, yes, and I teach people to make money online, absolutely. But I also am big on my faith, and I do believe that the Lord loves us no matter what. He cares for us. He is listening to us, even when we are not actually looking for Him, or when we think that we don't need Him, or when we think that those things are for somebody else. I'm gonna tell you one thing. Even if you're watching this video and you're thinking, Danny's just going nuts about, things about faith, there's a Lord. There's a a beautiful, amazing God that loves you and me more than you can imagine. And I'm not here to tell you that you should be rich, and if you are a minister, because there are some people that proclaim that being in the ministry actually equals to more blessings than to other people. And these are things that are untrue. And there's a lot of scriptures that we can talk about, but that's not my point. I want to teach you one thing today, and that is that if you know Jesus, if you don't know who Jesus is, it'll be really good that you get to know him. He's amazing. He's the biggest thing for me. He has taken me out of depression, out of, abuse, out of different situations. I have been through the worst, and I have seen that maybe even whenever those bad situations were not removed from my life, he was always there, just like with Daniel and his friends when they were thrown in the fire because they refused to bow down to something else that was not God. I have seen over and over and over in my life, and I'm a witness that he has been there in my life when I have been in trials, in tribulations, through the good and through the horrible stories that I can tell you about. And I want to tell you one thing: wealth does not equal more blessing. Wealth is beautiful. Yes, wealth in the Bible talks about wealth being something you and I should share with people. those of us who believe in him, because everything comes from him. Now, does that mean that you're going to be rich when you're Christian? No. Does that mean that you should only pursue those things? No. That means that we as believers must find a balance when it comes down to business, because the Lord wants us to do good, but he also will prevent from things to happen around us with problems. You might be thinking, you know what? The Lord doesn't love me because I cannot pay my bills. I cannot do this. I cannot go on a vacation. I cannot travel. No, 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 no. I want to tell you one thing. I was once broke. I was once beaten down on the floor. I was down, depressed. I was obese, not because I wanted to be so, but I was so depressed that I was eating and I was not taking care of myself. I'm going to tell you one thing. When you understand that the love of God has nothing to do with money and has nothing to do with you, being in a right relationship with Him for you to be blessed and abundant, you will change the way that things are in your life. Because no matter what, when you love Him and when you understand He loves you, no matter what, things will change. Yes, that means that you will still go through being broke sometimes. You will still go through having a hard time in your relationships, in your family, in your finances, but that does not mean that He is so far out there or away. Or some people mistakenly blame our enemy, the enemy of our souls, for every single thing. I am beyond tired of hearing some good people that love the Lord blaming the enemy of our souls for everything. No, the Lord wants you to do good, but also I want you to know one thing. When it comes down to business, Jesus was not against wealth. He was not. He actually he actually taught a wealthy young man what to do with his wealth. And I'm going to tell you one thing. Wealth will expose your heart. Yes, it will expose your heart, where your heart is. It will not change you. Mm-mm. Wealth, money exposes who people are, not vice versa. Some people say, well, money changes people. And, it is bad to have money. It is bad to acquire wealth. No, it's not. It has nothing to do with your walk with the Lord. Nothing, nothing. Because, no matter what or where you are, if you are, a servant, or if you are in the palace, or if you are broke, or if you're on the top of the mountain, if you love the Lord and if He's your friend, it doesn't matter your bank account. He will always love you, but He's also not against you and I acquiring wealth. So thank you so much for being here. Love Jesus, love people, and